Hi Pisces, this is wishkotheferret. Thanks for hopping into one of my many hidey holes. This reading for you is for June 5th to June 11th. Whenever you feel called to listen to this message, that's up to you and your intuition. As always, I will say, drop into your heart space. Let the dust spiritually, physically, and emotionally settle around and within you so that you can determine which messages are for you and which messages are for others. And while you step into that space, I'm going to call up my own space. So thank you, Archangel Michael, for casting your light of protection around me at this time. Thank you for encasing me with golden light from here within my energy field to the four walls of this room. Thank you, angel guides. Thank you, spirit team, for connecting me with the energy of Pisces, whether they're sun, moon, or rising. Thank you for helping me connect with the most uplifting and empowering information to help enact the best change for our Pisces here. So I'm, one of my hidey holes, the hidey hole that I'm in is that I'm with family at the moment. So with my ferrets make any sounds, they're right over there. If you hear any sounds in the background, that's just my family. They're very like love-hate relationship with one another, and they often make digs at one another. So that is something. If you hear any voices in the background, nobody's actually like angry. They're just like they're trying to see who can get the best bird across. So that being said, okay, your self-image could be really affected at this time. The focal point of your reading is self-love. I'm just going to get into that before I start pulling your tarot. Let the wall fall that separates me from my own vulnerable inner child. I long to take care of myself like never before. So perhaps your self-esteem issues are branching off of just insecurities that you've had for a long time. Specifically, I'm feeling like it could be financial insecurity for some of you. For also, it could be in terms of body image. I'm hearing like a sense of closeness with someone. You could be insecure about how you're not feeling close enough with someone, or that you, or maybe being close to a certain someone is making you feel insecure about yourself. But there's something here about the closeness with someone is provoking some sort of feeling of insecurity. So, yeah, let's see. Okay. Oh, it's tough. Okay, so we'll talk. We'll get there in a second. So you have the Sun and the Wheel of Fortune here. But self-love is the focus point. The main thing you should be focusing on this week is giving yourself some more of that self-love, recognizing the love that you have for yourself and really trying to expand upon that, finding other reasons to love yourself, embracing yourself in more self-love adventures and things, taking yourself out on a date, or even so much as just recognizing your worth, your value as a person. Those are things that, like, you know, could help ease the ache this week, if there is an ache present. I feel like if you're coming to this reading, there should already be like this type of energy here of feeling kind of, I don't know, I just heard the term messed up. So if you're feeling kind of messed up coming to this reading, then this is a message that could connect with you. But I'm not saying like if you're feeling good right now that this is something that's going to come into your field. Like this is something you like treat it as if it's happening now, basically. So you have the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Sun, and these cards are meant to act like they're meant to be like connecting to one another in this spread. So the Sun is about new starts, yes, but it's also just walking in the direction of the Sun. So regardless of where you're at in life, you're walking in the direction of the Sun. It provides with I don't know, the Sun showers with hope, optimism, new opportunities, and really just taking the time to embrace all that is given to you. And I feel like this optimism or this time in the Sun is actually brought on by the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fates, this could quite literally be enjoying like the summer sun. For those of you who are in like that part of the world where it's the season of summer fun, or it's the season of like, you know, like I'm getting like a hot summer type of thing. Kind of like I'm in like the Northeast. So like for us, like summer is actually starting. So for some of you, just Wheel of Fortune does provide like it's like also a seasons of change card, as well as like a fates card or like a destiny card or whatever have you. But I do have a feeling that you've been working towards some type of manifestation for a while. So not only could this be in your immediate weather environment of, you know, embracing like the fun, the sun, and maybe your mood is lifting with the occurrence of maybe longer days. If this doesn't apply to you, then I do feel like for a lot of you, it could also feel, it's feeling something to me, like something that you've been putting energy towards. So the Wheel of Fortune is a card of once you put energy out there, that's energy that's coming back to you. So it's kind of reminding me of like a karmic wheel type of thing. So karma doesn't care whether it's good or bad. It's just the energy that you're putting out is the energy that you're getting back. So it's almost like you are reaping the rewards of an earlier intention that you had, either from the new moon that we had recently. And again, if you're coming at this later, whatever new moon or whatever time you put intentions into, there's a period of time where you put intentions or energy into manifesting something or bringing something to your reality, in which case you will be seeing some results from that now. Or you'll be seeing some signs that you're on the right path to be receiving some of those manifestations in due time. But the Wheel of Fortune is a card about understanding that the wheel will keep spinning for everyone, and that you will get to this, it's just receiving some of that goodness. Also recognizing that divine timing, I think the Wheel of Fortune is always like a divine timing card as well, so that Spirit has its own wheel of time that it operates on. Time, from our conception, our perception, time is very limited, or no, time is not, how do I want to say this? The past, present, and future are not, like, they're all happening at the same time. Like, we perceive time as linear, even though it's all happening at the same time. This is like a quantum theory or quantum mechanics type of thing, and I promise I will look into this because it is a very hard concept to understand, but I am determined to learn it. But right now, my main focus is like getting into the deeper, darker depths of astrology. Deeper depths of astrology. But I am learning. I do want to learn about those things, and so that I can explain this a little bit better. But it's, I guess, something that Einstein has talked about, and something that other physicists and all kinds of other scientists have talked about of time not being linear, and that we only perceive it as linear. But anyway, that's just a concept that we could talk about. It's like a theory, so it can't be proven. But that's just, I know Spirit operates kind of like, time is not a thing on the other side. So just from engaging with spirits and just from all the books that I've read, and I can seem to, I seem to experience spirits in that way, where they can tell me like, oh, the energy is sitting here right now and that this is going to happen, but that might not happen if you don't sit in this energy longer, if that makes sense. But the energy that you're sitting in now is helping manifest the future. So make sure that you're in a positive, make sure that you're in like, it doesn't even have to be positive, just make sure you're in an uplifted state, make sure you're keeping yourself held high, that you're always facing and pointing towards the sun, and that way you are like radiating this joy, radiating this sense that it's like a sense of trust that success will come to you, because that's also going to in turn help feed you that kind of energy. When you're putting it out, that kind of energy is going to come back to you. Okay, that's like a law of attraction thing. You have the Hierophant, and you have these clarification, or like you have these connector cards, and also interestingly enough, they insisted on coming out together, and I didn't get a sense for, whether to move it in the reading, so I just left it alone because I felt like they went together. You have the Hierophant on one side, you have the Three of Wands, and you have the Tower on the other side. I don't really know why it reversed in my hand. It came upright. But you have the Hierophant and the Tower and the Three of Wands here. They're all meant to connect together. So the Hierophant talks about having boundaries. I just heard like stable living or stable income. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't have that right now, but you're somebody who is seeking that or looking for opportune times to have that. And Spirit's saying that there is a restructuring that needs to happen in order to accommodate something like that. It's almost like you have to upend your current structure, but also that it's almost like this is something that you're currently working on. If this applies to you, if this direct message applies to you, then you're somebody who is working towards that stability. You could be in a stable something now, but perhaps you are trying to get something that you want to work in, like a field that you want to work in. You're trying to get it up off the ground. You're trying to get something to a consistent state of living or a consistent state of being. You have the foundations, you have the plans. The Three of Wands is already having the plans written up, just needing to execute it. He has all of this barren land to work with, so you're in a pretty good space to get started, but some things in your life kind of need to be upended and rearranged first in order to accommodate this new start that is lifting off. And it does take time. This isn't something that Spirit is expecting you to do right away, but notice like the Hierophant, especially when paired with these, is not only it's forcing like not forcing, but it's almost like you're forming boundaries, but you can form boundaries with other people, but this is also about forming boundaries with yourself, making sure that you are keeping routines and breaking certain habits that don't serve your future goals. So forming habits that support your future goals. So quite honestly, looking at your day, like you want to plan for things, like take a notice of the things that you actively do and question, why do I do those things, before you completely upend and rearrange, because sometimes we really just try to like make everything in our day mean something if we're trying to achieve something, or if we're trying to push for something. We're like, okay, well, I want to do something great, so I'm gonna have to work my ass off, I'm gonna have to do all this and that and the third. And that's not necessarily the case. We don't have to power work to that destination. So find a healthy medium, find a healthy compromise with the you now. Notice why you do certain things. You know, why do I play video games and then go read books and then go do this and then go do that? You know, maybe you find that you actually just really enjoy indulging in stories. And so you think, okay, so what if I schedule, like, and you don't have to keep like a routine to a T, because that's kind of boring, but I mean, like, and some people can't handle it. Well, personally, it's my personal opinion, but some of you might find it incredibly boring and incredibly strict to keep like a solid, like, I'm going to indulge in story for an hour, and in the next hour I'm going to do this thing, and the next hour I'm going to do this thing. So balance is a myth. It's extremely hard to achieve balance as a human, because we are a human living a human existence with a lot of dualities present. So it is hard to work super hard and achieve in something when we also have to achieve rest. You can still achieve things. You don't always have to hustle to get there. But a lot of people, when we get super inspired and motivated, sometimes it's hard not to push towards that. And sometimes when we feel super lazy, or when we actually feel the need to recover, because feeling the need to recover and laziness are not the same thing, but it's totally okay to be lazy too. I don't want to shun anybody, because I get lazy all the time and I want to indulge in laziness, and that's just, I just love having my life like that. So that's one thing that you can do. Is just indulge in those things, or you can have like a more strict schedule. Make sure that you're at least doing 3 things a day. Make sure that you are, you know, resting and doing at least one of these activities in a day, like yoga or this or that or whatever helps you to accumulate that resting and taking care of your body. If you feel like crap about cleaning and you get like obsessively, you know, trying to clean everything, you might have to stop and be like, okay, what's something that I could clean every day? Like, maybe I can do like cleaning every day, focus on the priority stuff that I have to clean every day. Maybe I can clean 3 things a day or 2 things a day. And then I could also like, you know, work on my dreams for like a solid 2 or 3 hours a day or something like that. You know, I mean, we all, if you're coming to this video, sometimes a lot of people like, we have to work too. So, I mean, obviously play with those schedules as you see fit. You know, and also like, you know, just make time for fun too. Like, you know, do something that fills up your soul, and take notice throughout the day of why you pursue the activities that you do, what you are seeking from those activities. That way you can accommodate them in your day, because you want to explore life too, like, and really take in like external stimuli. You want to learn, you want to grow, you want to experience other things. And even if you're not somebody who likes to venture out of the house too much, maybe you like to experience new ideas. So maybe you can go on idea hunts to really fill up that, you know, and get you excited and want to play. So trying to schedule for like a well-rounded life, especially if you're somebody who wants to launch your own business and you'll be creating your own schedule, that kind of skill is very important, but it's something that is like developed over time. So don't be afraid to make changes to something that you've recently done in order to make it accommodate you more. You don't have to stick with this routine forever. It's just something that meets you, like meet where you're at now. Meet you where you're at now. That way you can set yourself for success later. You don't have to do it all today. You don't have to be everything today. You can slowly work towards that goal. Like, I don't have a consistent space for my tarot readings yet, but I find that, you know what, my goal, regardless of where I'm at, regardless of where I'm doing, I'm going to put out the signs every week. I'm going to do my best to put the signs out every week. Even if they're late, I don't care. They need to go out. And that's kind of like my guideline because I found that like I noticed how I felt on the days where I didn't meet that goal, and I was like, okay, well, I am going to take a break, and I felt like I needed that break. You take a week break, but I felt the need to do other readings too, and I was like, you know what, like I actually did not like that, so I'm going to keep up with it regardless of where I'm at. And you might have to make some concessions. You know, I don't have a permanent space set up, but here I am doing them anyway, and I'm making it work for me. So maybe that's something that you might have to do. Like, you might not have your dream diet or your dream schedule or your dream things or components to get your projects together, but you know, you're making it work with what you have, and then you're starting from, you know, step one. Now you also have, you have self-love, you know, it says the focal point of your reading, the main thing to focus on. Love where you're at, love who you are, where you're at now. You have the Two of Swords coming up as the root. So the reason why I bring up the focal point is because the Two of Swords is meant to mirror this one. So as we've had cards that work in tandem with one another, we have the Two of Swords as the root of self-love. Now the Two of Swords, it's honestly just making a choice. So perhaps you feel compelled to make a choice about something externally, but this is a choice that you actively have to make. This is kind of like a weird message that's coming through, especially because it's coming up from the root and it's coming up from within. So there's kind of coming through with like the message of, you know, you need to choose self-love at first, even if you don't believe it. You need to choose to view yourself in the way that the divine sees you. And in order to do that, you need to actively look at your thoughts and make the choice to focus on those things. Even if you don't believe it, even if you have to fake it till you make it, viewing yourself as worth it. Sometimes I find that going through mantras is incredibly helpful, like not just saying them, like I aspire to be wealthy, or like not even I aspire, like I am wealthy, or I am abundant, or I am beautiful. And even if you say it and you don't believe it, really try to put yourself in a space where you believe it. Quite literally take that mantra in, put it in your bones, put it in your heart. Like it's such a weird, it's a weird experience, because I use mantras like when you say it, when you really try to believe it, when you pretend like you're telling somebody else, I am beautiful, and sometimes you might feel uncomfortable with that. And you know, that's something that if you say it over and over again, get used to saying it. That way you can start actually entertaining the idea, even if you don't believe it, because exposure, what is this? Oh, this is like a psychology thing, and I love this is coming to me now. So people say that oftentimes, this is like I've read some psychology studies about how people are more friendly, or they experience like a better bond, or they're friendlier with people that they see on a routine basis. So more, or they find that more friendly faces, or more, not friendly faces, but more familiar faces tend to be more attractive, or it makes them more comfortable. That attractiveness might increase because they are more comfortable seeing your face. And this doesn't really have to do with like romantic attraction. It just could be just an attracting friendly conversation. This could be just attracting anything to somebody. So quite often just the exposure to the mantras again and again it's almost like you find yourself entertaining the thought, even if you don't believe it at first, you're starting to entertain those things. So that's just an example that I just pulled like with the whole beautiful thing, but it could be for anything. Like, I am a good writer. And you'd be like, what? But because writers are always improving, so you might as well just say you're good, so that, because sometimes when we tell ourselves that we're not something, we stop ourselves from not only recognizing our worthiness and our like the abundance, like, and stop it, kind of like stops the flow of things when we choose to focus on those things. But when we start to open up to the possibility that we are something, that we are worthy, that we are this, we are that, then we start calling in that energy, we start embodying that energy, because you will grow, you will learn and grow. So even if you're not really talented in something, even if you say I'm talented at this, or I'm getting better at this, having a growth mindset and knowing that you can eventually get there and achieve something, that is also incredibly important to keep in mind too. So Spirit is kind of coming up with the Two of Swords, saying you need to actively make a choice in deciding how you're going to think about yourself, how you're going to talk to yourself, because that is going to help with your self-love this week. Okay, so let's pull some oracle cards and see where else you're going, Pisces, or what else you're going to be doing. Other things to keep in mind for this week. Ooh, boom, there we go. Oh, you have chaos and conflict. Interestingly enough, it's 33, and you have the Three of Wands here. So on your path forward, wherever this may be, whatever you have to restructure in your life, whatever routines you have to redo in order to do this new start that you want to do. It doesn't have to be upending your career or your job or following passion or whatever the case may be. This could be just a new start in how you handle things and how you handle your existence and how you handle your life. Just like, it's almost like you're building a new lease on your life. And you could have chaos and conflict around it. And threes could be a special number for you, because I feel like this is actually linked with the Three of Wands and the Tower moment right now. Chaos and conflict, this giraffe is shedding stripes and taking on giraffe spots. And a lot of people would say, well, the giraffe spots don't belong to the zebra, but who are them to say when it's actually happening? That's like, you know, if they say, oh, but they can't do that. Well, why not? They're already doing it. Of course you can. You're already doing it. So it's just their opinion that they're saying. And it's their, like, how do I want to say? Like, who is someone else to say that you can't do something? Is basically that. So, who is someone else to say that you can't achieve this? Or you can't be beautiful? Or you can't exercise every day? Or that you can't, you know, like, do this or that? Who are you to say that you can't achieve something? Allow yourself to take on spots. Allow yourself to take on something different. Allow yourself to wear a different skin, because what this different skin is, what it's doing is it's almost like acting as if your inner self is coming. Like, you're like the kind of person that you want to be, not from like being influenced by external circumstances, but there is a type of person sometimes that we long to be because we try to voice our authentic truths and we have trouble with that. So Spirit is almost saying, like, the zebra, for all we know, like this giraffe spots, he's shedding old skin. Maybe he was always meant to sport these giraffe spots. This was, I mean, they're his spots. And if that's what's coming up underneath, that's the new skin that he's showing. It's from what's coming up biologically from within. So allow your spirit to speak to you. Allow your own authentic voice to come through, because it seems chaotic. It seems like the rug has been pulled out from under you and you're kind of suspended in the air for a while, but you will regain your footing, and it's not going to feel like this forever. It is only temporary, okay? You also have no place like home, so if you have to be situated at home for a while in order to accommodate these changes, definitely feel free to do so. I feel like this is more speaking in terms of your sense of home. So really rallying yourself to feel at home even through all of these changes, to feel at home in your own body, in your own voice, in your own skin. For whatever reason, I feel like this could be like a beauty thing for some of you, because I'm pulling a lot of those examples for some reason. But quite literally just feeling like you're home. Like feeling at home wherever you go. This card is beyond like the actual physical location of home. This is feeling at home wherever you are at. So I know I always like to, not always like to, I don't know why I said that. There are some people who address like they feel like an alien, they feel like they don't belong. Why not try to make your home here on Earth for now? Since we're here living this existence already, you might not be from here, yes. You might not, like some people like are actual like starseeds or reincarnated as like a being that identifies as not really belonging with this group, and that's totally fine. But there's something here, like every situation is different. And however you feel, or whether it's due to a spiritual aspect, whether it's due to like a feeling of loneliness or like a feeling of alienation from within the self, or something that happened in this lifetime or previous lifetimes that are kind of rearing its ugly head here, just know that you have the capability to curate a space here on Earth, whether it's physical, energetic, a mental space, your emotional space, of feeling safe and at home, because it all starts with the mind and the heart. So getting your mind on board sometimes is the hardest thing to do. It takes a lot of programming and engineering. I highly recommend cognitive behavioral therapy, but I understand that some that resources in therapy are not always accessible to some people, and that some people are triggered by therapy. So, you know, I would never push super hard for it, but I would say that, you know, I think with the right therapist, everyone can, you know, like feel better because of it, because it's just working through, it's doing the work, it's working through your shadow side and bringing up parts of yourself that you wouldn't normally bring up to other people, and then allowing that therapist to be like a soundboard and to help you provide the tools to assist with handling yourself, the way that you handle life, the way that you handle other people, not telling you how to do it, but in terms of like how to cope, giving you the skill set to do that. So I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot of things, you know. But I just heard like you're waiting for something, or you're waiting for a sign. Some of you could actually be going into like getting like seeking assistance now, and actually like waiting to hear back from like a therapist or something to schedule. Like that's very interesting message coming through. But anyway, that doesn't have to be you, but there are also, if you don't have the resources, or if you find that therapy is something that you don't want to pursue, there are always self-help resources online that you can work through these things for you, like that you can work, not for you, that you can work through these things But there's something about like curating space here on earth. Just be assured and have faith and trust that you can do that. It's just a matter of trying to figure out how you can cultivate that, okay? You also have retreat. Never underestimate the healing power of a quiet moment. So as I just said, retreating to the home, this could quite literally be retreating to your own space, like your own physical home. This could be retreating to, you know, within yourself, to get that rest and rejuvenation that you need, and to help recalibrate you, especially in times of chaos and upheaval. Because I know Pisces, we often get caught up in our heads, and sometimes we get very Pisces, I find, are very go with the flow, but oftentimes I also find that Pisces are very like yes people. So like they'll say yes to everything, but they don't really like, sometimes they don't like actively retreat and think about themselves. So actively take the time to retreat and take care of yourself. Say no to something if you have to, just so you can be in your own space and get yourself reoriented. You don't have to have anything major going on. If you're just not feeling it and you need to recalibrate your energy for whatever reason, you can do it. You can do it because you deserve that. Okay, you also have Wallflower. Look for the crack in the concrete to find your way out. A lot of signs have actually been getting this card. Essentially, this, again, it's a, there's like, I don't know, Spirit's kind of coming through, like, saying, like, Hail Mary. Like, it's almost kind of like, I don't know, just trust that even though you're in the thick of it now, that it's only temporary. Keep working towards the sunshine, keep working towards the light, and eventually you will find the cracks that will lead you out, the cracks that you can work towards to make them wider, that you can fit through and finally come out. So there's always an exit, there's always a way out. So just keep working at it, you will get there. You don't have to try so hard. You can always just sit there for a minute, but don't sit there in the darkness too long. Always be working towards the light, always moving towards the light, following your authentic truth, your authentic voice, trying to allow your decisions and your mind to be aligned with what your heart truly feels. That way you can, you know, fight this darkness the best that we can, or just, I wouldn't even say fight the darkness. Sometimes it does feel like that, but choosing where to put your mind is a huge thing, Pisces. Where to put your focus and attention. Even if something bothers you, it doesn't always have to be worked through. It doesn't always need your attention right now. So I always find that shadow work is important, but I think in the spiritual community, there is such an importance on that, you know, because a lot of people say, oh no, but, you know, people so much like focus on just the positive, and they only bring up the positive, and they're constantly living in love, light, and bubbles and butterflies, and that's not true. Life is obviously full of duality. But in a world of duality, does it feel better to focus on the things that you're thankful for, or does it feel good to focus on the things that you don't have, or the sufferings that you're going through? It just like doing the work in front of you and moving forward actually helps move you through the muck a little bit more, and it's just getting rid of that stagnant energy. I feel like is a big thing for some of you, that some of you might be stuck in that stagnant energy, so just shaking it off a little bit and even getting some movement. Even if that movement, I'm gonna be real with you, even if that movement is in the wrong direction, it's still movement. It still shakes you, it still snaps you out of it and goes, oh snap, I need to be going this way, and then you turn, and then you make a way to go the way that you want to go. Make your way towards those cracks, that sunshine, you know. So sometimes movement is really just all we need to snap ourselves out of it, okay? I'm going to roll the dice for you, and then I'll let you be on your way, Pisces. You got 4, 8, 4. Pulling from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. You are being encouraged to trust in the kingdom of heaven. Your angels are working on your behalf and are standing close to you now. One more time. You are being encouraged to trust in the kingdom of heaven. Your angels are working on your behalf and are standing close to you now. So not only are you a powerful co-creator in your life, but you have angelic beings on the other side waiting. I just heard like waiting for you to make the call. So some of you could actually be making a decision on something, but they're waiting for you to make the call so that they can assist you and help shower you with love. So as you are focusing on abundance and thankfulness, that is also a clear channel to open up to spiritual guidance of that vibration. So of more lighthearted vibrations. That's how I connect with angels. That's how a lot of people connect with their spirit guides, is connecting through a playful, lighthearted manner, and just from a space of love, because that is how they read it. You know, spirit guides are actually like some, I mean, I have some guides that are pretty serious, like, you know, but, and pretty firm, but you know, I have some of them that like to play around a little bit too, and like, you know, it'll be like cute, wholesome little jokes. Like, they might not say it verbally, but like jokes as in like, oh, actually no, I did hear the one that was really funny, because I think I got really angry at one point, and I always like to share this story because it's so funny. It was the first time I actually had like somebody who came to me and identified themselves as my guardian angel, because that's what I resonate with. You don't have to resonate with those things. Everyone connects with something different, but I was like, I think I had gotten angry, and I was going through so many challenges, and I just kind of looked up, and I was so angry, and I was like, you did this to me. I was having one of those moments. I was having a tower moment, and I was like, and this and that, and I'm supposed to do this and this all by myself, blah 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 blah. Like, I don't know. And I think I had said something like, or something happened right after I said, oh, that's never gonna happen, and then it happened, and I was like, you think you're so funny. And then I heard a voice, quite literally later on that day, and I heard, as I was just doing something, I was getting ready for bed, I heard, and by the way, and then I stopped because it was so strong, and by the way, I think I'm hilarious. Or no, I think he said something like, I think I have a good sense of humor, or something like that. And I was like, I wrote it down somewhere in my notes, or my journal notes, but I just broke down laughing hysterically, because I was like, I was not expecting that kind of response. I thought that guides were going to come through gentle and serious and all this other things, and like so crystal clear, and he just came in like, and by the way, I have a great sense of humor, because I was literally making fun of them earlier that day. You think you're so funny. You think you're being cute by throwing this in my face. Blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. They do have a sense of humor. That's how they connect. So, treat it lighthearted. Treat it, don't treat it as seriously sometimes, because it's hard for the guidance to come to you that way. But anyway, that is what I have for you, Pisces. I hope this resonated with you in some way, and I hope that I helped you on your journey in some way. Thank you for allowing me to channel. Thank you to your angel guides and your spirit team, my angel guides and spirit team, for allowing me to connect with you and for allowing me to channel this message. If you resonated with this in any way and you want to help the channel grow, go ahead, like and subscribe and all the things so you don't miss content from me. I hope you have the best week, Pisces. I love you, I love you, I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.